Silent Hill, a lakeside town shrouded in mist and mystery. Its fog-covered streets and creaking boardwalks hide stories that the locals won't tell and flavors they can't forget. Slices of pizzas aged to perfection, tubs of local strawberry ice cream, and plentiful health drinks littered across the town are just some of the familiar flavors that carry with them Silent Hill's uneasy charm of comfort and nightmare. And then across the sea, a countryside village frozen in time where you'll find the beauty of nature, friendly faces, and a cuisine rooted in tradition. Pouches of delicate sushi, crimson blocks of sweet treats, and a refreshingly thick herbal remedy are the tastes that capture the unsettling beauty of this timeless Japanese village. These are the flavors of two worlds, one rooted in fog and memory, the other in flowers and fear. We'll walk their haunted streets, sit at their tables, and bring their food to life. These are the flavors of Silent Hill. This is going to be a two-part series. I'm doing Silent Hill 2 Remake on this one and then Silent Hill F on the next video, so watch out for that. The iconic Silent Hill is a quiet resort town on the edge of Toluca Lake. The fog rolls in, the streets creak, and the few who remain don't say much. But underneath all of that fog, you'll find that even in a place like this, pizza somehow endures. Inside Pete's Bolorama, I come across a small glimpse of the local favorite pizza order, which seems to be pepperoni and mushroom, but that may not have always been the case. A visit to the Silent Hill Historical Society can give us a look at the town's past. It appears that 20 years ago, locals preferred fresher pizza toppings loaded with fresh vegetables. So which is the true taste of Silent Hill? Well, we can't find out with just one slice, so let's recreate this piece of pie as a mix of both. One half pepperoni and mushroom, one half Asian style, a fractured whole, much like the town itself. First, let's make the crust. In a mixing bowl, toss in 2 cups of all-purpose flour along with a 1/4 teaspoon of instant yeast, a teaspoon of fine sea salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. Once that's mixed, add in a 3/4 cup of cold water and 1/2 tablespoon of oil. Mix that with a wooden spoon or with your hand. The dough will be sticky and that's okay. Once combined, cover the bowl with plastic wrap and let the dough rise at room temperature overnight for 18 to 20 hours until the dough has doubled in size. After all, everything delicious takes a little bit of time. But while we wait, let's do up the sauce. We're going to start with a 28-ounce can of whole peeled tomatoes in a bowl, crushing each tomato into small pieces. Then in a pan, heat up 1 tablespoon of olive oil and a tablespoon of butter. I had some garlic and herb butter, so I'm using that for more flavor, but regular butter should be fine as well. Melt it completely, then add in a whole finely diced onion, and after a few minutes of cooking that, add in a large minced garlic clove and fry those up for a couple of minutes until fragrant. Then we're going to pour in those crushed tomatoes along with 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, a teaspoon of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and some ground pepper. Stir it well, cover, and let it simmer on low heat for about an hour to bring out all of that flavor. Once done, let it cool to room temp. We're going to use this on the pizza in a bit. Scrape the dough out onto a floured surface, then shape the dough by folding the edges in toward the center underneath itself. This gets kind of sticky, so it's best to oil up your hands so you can handle it a little bit better. Form this into a ball and cover with a damp kitchen towel and let this rest for 30 minutes. After the wait, roll it out and stretch it to a 12-inch circle. Transfer that over to a pizza pan. Then we're going to slather on a layer of the pizza sauce that we made. Then sprinkle on your desired amount of low moisture mozzarella cheese. Now this is where our pizza kind of deviates. On one half of the pizza is our homage to the remake by replicating that pepperoni mushroom pizza we saw in the theater. So place on your pepperoni slices as well as some cooked mushroom slices. I just pan fried these up for a few minutes. And then on the other half, our ode to the pizza from the original game. Now for the OG half, I took a lot of inspiration from Japanese style pizzas. Even though Silent Hill is based on the American rural setting, the original Silent Hill game was made by Team Silent, who were based in Tokyo. I can just imagine them working late nights and ordering from Pizzala or Aoki's Pizza. And as you can see, they're not afraid to go wild with the toppings. Tuna and potato, chicken and mochi, lettuce. Japanese pizza is crazy, y'all. But let's take a closer look at the OG Silent Hill pizza. This brown stuff looks like sausage meat. The green stuff can be green peppers, but the wedge-like shape in the edges makes me think that it's zucchini instead. The red stuff looks kind of like diced tomatoes. These rounded fleshy bits look like cut up ham to me, and these smaller orange shapes are probably orange peppers. I also think I can pick out some corn kernels on there. So let's take all of those good bits and pop those on the pizza. I cooked up some Italian sausage crumbles, which we'll dot the pizza with. The zucchini I've also fried up as well to get it nice and soft. Scatter on some raw diced tomatoes, some cut up slices of ham, cut up bits of orange peppers, and finally some canned corn kernels. Now that we got our ultimate Silent Hill half and half, time to pop it in the oven at 500 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. And look at that beauty! A Silent Hill inspired half and half pizza that satisfies fans of old and the new, and I don't even have to share it with Eddie. Speaking of Eddie, he's not only a connoisseur of pizza, but he's got quite an appetite for ice cream as well. We see him eating a giant tub of Tolucataste Strawberry Ice Cream made by Silent Hill Farms. Now, I tried to find the brand's headquarters to see how it's made, but I found no traces of the company, but I did find Silent Hill Ranch. I went inside to see if there was any evidence of this local favorite ice cream, but to no avail. So I think we're gonna have to make some instead. The stars of the show are gonna be strawberries, so I'm starting with a whole container of strawberries hulled and chopped up into small pieces. Throw that in a saucepan and add to it a quarter cup of sugar and a teaspoon of lemon juice. Let this mixture cook for 10 minutes until syrupy and jammy in consistency. When soft, mash it up. Along my travels, I also stopped by a local establishment in which I found a nice bottle of Cointreau. This orange flavored liqueur is perfect for this recipe as it's going to make the strawberry flavor feel brighter and more complex, so let's add 2 tablespoons of that. Now in a large bowl, pour in 2 cups of heavy cream, 1 teaspoon of vanilla paste, and a pinch of salt. Whip that all together until you get soft peaks. This took me around 4 minutes using the second fastest speed setting on my hand mixer. After that, fold in a whole can of condensed milk until nice and smooth. Follow that up by adding in the cooled strawberry mixture. I mixed this all up, but it was still looking pretty light, and I really wanted to replicate that pink color from the game, so I added 3 drops of red food coloring to get it to the exact color that I wanted. And to infuse a bit more strawberry flavor, we're also going to mix in a tablespoon of strawberry jam. Finally, scoop everything into a container and we're going to pop these in the freezer overnight to set. We're going to check out our fresh batch of Tolucataste Strawberry Ice Cream later on. Now, we can't have a Silent Hill meal without making the most common consumable item found in the town. It seems that everywhere I turn, there's always some health drink lying around. Simply labeled as a nutrition supplement, nobody really knows what's in it or where these came from, but one thing's for sure, you're definitely going to need a few swigs of these every now and then to give you the boost that you need to get around the town. Because we don't have a recipe to work off of, I'm literally just going to dump in a bunch of things that I find healthy. I do want something dark and medicinal looking, so I'm starting with a cup of pomegranate juice that's deep blood red, tart, and full of antioxidants. Add to that even more crimson red liquid with half a cup of cranberry juice to add more bite and a tartness that's really going to wake you up. Now this is going to be pretty tart and concentrated, so let's lighten it up with half a cup of coconut water for added hydration and electrolytes. Still going to be sour though, so let's counter that with some sweetness and add a tablespoon of honey. But why stop there? Let's also add in a teaspoon of grated ginger for that medicinal warming kick, a tablespoon of lemon juice for some bright acidity, and a pinch of sea salt, because I'm fancy like that. And true to the portable format of this health drink, we're gonna bottle it up. If you're wondering, this is just a bottle of Sambucol that I found in my medicine cabinet that I emptied out and washed. Big shout out to elderberries. Now this bottle holds more than I expected, so to top it up, I just added more coconut water since I got a feeling it's gonna be pretty strong tasting anyway. Now we got our very own batch of the Silent Hill health drink. By the way, if you want a copy of this label, as well as the Tolucataste ice cream one, I'll have it up on my Patreon as a bonus downloadable file. If you'd like to support the channel, check out my Patreon. Thanks for your support. Let's have a taste of Silent Hill, y'all. Starting with this pizza, specifically the pepperoni mushroom first. Oh yeah, this is absolutely tasty. Love the salty pepperoni and the poppy bites of mushrooms. The salty umami is a classic match for the gooey cheese, and the sauce, slow cooked with those onions, garlic, and oregano, is super flavorful. The dough is pretty good too. I'm always nervous when working with dough, but this one turned out really well. Definitely worth the wait for it to rise overnight because the texture ended up being pretty good. Before moving on to the other slice, let's cleanse our palate with this health drink. One swig of this will really wake up your taste buds. Very tart from the pomegranate and cranberry, and the ginger is super strong. I'm glad I added more coconut water to dilute it a little bit because it still packs a punch. But the more I drink this, the more I like it actually. Starts off strong at first, but eventually pretty refreshing. I would probably just half the ginger next time. Let's try the OG Japanese style half. Hey, this is pretty tasty also. Has a lighter taste because of the veggies. I'm not accustomed to having zucchini and corn on my pizza, but I thought it tasted pretty fine. The sausage gives it a bit of meatiness, but the ham slices are my favorite parts. Pretty good, but I still prefer the pepperoni one. I just miss that salty, oily greasiness from the pepperoni, but I ain't mad at this one.
Ha! You're just a gutless fatso.
Finally, let's dig into this ice cream, and as you can see, it turned out pretty good. Scooping it out, I was really surprised by how good the consistency was for something made without an ice cream machine, but it's the taste that matters most, and taste-wise, knocked it out of the park. Damn, this is good. Super creamy and has a really smooth mouthfeel. You immediately get the sweetness of the condensed milk and the hit of vanilla with the notes of strawberry. It helps that I didn't completely crush the strawberries when I was cooking them, so there were still chunks left, which made the texture more interesting. Also love the addition of the strawberry jam, and the Cointreau enhances the flavor and contributes to the smooth texture. This is good and all, but I want to try it the Silent Hill way, as Eddie demonstrates here, just grabbing a handful of cream and shoving it in your mouth. Now, I really want to just plunge my hand into this tub, but if I do, Miso Wifey might actually kill me. Next thing you know, she's paying a visit to Silent Hill, trying to find me and walking around with my sexy ghost clone. Hope she doesn't pick the bad ending. So I'm gonna avoid the tub and just scoop it out of my personal serving here. Lame, I know. And you know what? I can kind of see the appeal. My body heat is pretty much just instantly melting the ice cream, which makes it even creamier, but this is just way too messy. I hope the locals don't look down on me, but I think I'll stick to using the spoon. But you do you, Eddie. I ain't yucking your yum. In the next video, we'll travel to the other side of the world where the horrors and flavors bloom in red. Food in Silent Hill F coming up.